Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 134, a pretty big episode for Comic Book Queer's legacy. Comic books are back.
I am your host, Brett, and with me, as always, is the person who might make my voice sound a little cool at that part right there when he fucks around in post, Evil Jeff. Hi, Evil.
Hi.
I love it. How's it going? Are you happy to have comic books back?
Well, it feels like just a dribbling. You know what I mean? It was like, I was like, that's it. I'm done. I'm not satisfied.
I felt like...
We've been spoiled with so many X-Men comics a week that I'm just like a spoiled little brat. Like, I want more.
I'm like Kirsten Dunst in Interview with the Vampire. I want more. Oh, yeah, we used to get like a butt ton of X-Men books out a week. And like these are the books, and like Marauders number 10 came out. This was a book that we should have had such a long time ago. It doesn't feel new. It feels like it was just left in the fridge.
Yeah.
But hey, who am I to complain? It's so good to have them back.
I think maybe we should just start talking about it. What do you think, Brett? I think we should. I think we have to get some X-Men out of our hair. Woo! I'm
gonna wash that X-Men right out of my hair. That's great. My hair's so clean. Let's talk about some X-Men.
We need to get it out of our system. I will say I love this cover.
Marauders 10.
Marauders 10 cover is great.
It's great. Russell Dauterman. He did it again.
And the one problem I have is that I'm ready for Kitty to come back.
Me too. I'm ready for Kitty to come out. I mean, back. But it seems like we're going to...
Even if she's not, then I want all the issue to be about the Five trying to resurrect her. Not like 2 pages.
Yeah.
I want it to be all about her.
There's a lot more story, and there's a lot of other team members. So speaking of which, we open with Forge.
Yeah, Forge.
Forge has always been kind of like a kind of sort of team member. Like, wasn't he like kind of sort of on X-Men Gold?
X-Men Gold?
Back in the day.
No, but I don't think he was necessarily on Gold. I think
Blue.
he just was always hanging back, like fixing up the Blackbird.
Yeah.
And, you know what I mean? He was just always there fixing
he was their
stuff
Q.
for
Yeah. Okay, but he was background when he was wearing this particular uniform.
Yes.
In fact.
Yes.
Yeah.
Until Storm rejected him. No, he thought Storm was going to reject him, and he rejected her. But I was going to say yes.
Yes.
Oh, my God.
So we're at Port Genosha. We're at the first distillery on Krakoa, and Forge is there, and he bumps into Tempo from the MLF. Tempo is aging Sebastian Shaw's whiskey for him, so she's turning 5-minute whiskey into 50-year-old whiskey with her powers.
Now, what's the name of the one from the Five? Who does
Tempest.
time? Do you think Tempest and Tempo, do you think Tempest is like...
Tempest.
Do you think Tempest is like, so, how's the alcohol? I just made a person.
Yeah.
You know, she'd be like, fuck you. She's probably her backup, though, because didn't it say
I was going to say
backup?
understudy. Yes, understudies. Maybe she's going to have to fill in. Ooh, maybe they're going to have to get like a duplicate 5 and have
I was
to
just
have
about to say, can we just pause for a second? Can we figure that out right now?
Oh, hell yeah. So who are the 5 understudies?
Who are the 5
might get called in to resurrect Kitty?
Okay, so we have
Tempo.
Triage for Elixir.
Yep. Somebody like Sync for Hope.
Sync, yes. Then there's who else manipulates could it be Legion?
For Proteus.
For Proteus.
Yep.
Who else?
Yep.
There's no. Oh, what's that, Mr.? What's that one? He was only
Mr.
in like
M.
Mr. M, maybe.
Yeah, I always call him like Heavens to Murgatroyd. I can never remember his fucking name.
He would work.
Yeah.
How many is that? Are we just missing egg?
We're
Gold
missing
balls?
gold balls, yeah.
Who could do
Which-
gold balls?
I mean, Sauron, does he lay eggs?
I don't think so. But does it even who also? But that's the thing, is he just makes these gold spheres that then gets turned kind of into eggs.
They get turned into viable.
Does anyone else have
sources
something
for-
that could be turned into something viable? Who else does something?
something like someone organic?
I'm gonna throw you something crazy.
Okay.
I'm gonna throw you something crazy. Boom boom.
Ooh.
Round bombs, but then Mr. M will defuse them and just take the shell of it and insert the person in there. What do you think?
Oh, I love it. I love it. I love Boom Boom being on the 5.
Because she would make
God.
those like little. She would make those round. They looked like round like pellets, like little round balls, bomb balls.
Yeah. We did it.
Okay, all right. Back to the Marauders.
So we're at Shaw's Distillery, and Storm is like, hey, Forge. A word?
Listen, bitch. And there's so much underground, like underneath tension going on in this conversation.
With Storm and Forge.
Like, I was like, bitch is still not over it.
Yeah, I think, like, you know how Dorothy Spornak, you know how she gets when Stan shows up? Like, I feel like that's how Storm gets when Forge shows up.
I love that. Forge
Hi,
is
it's me.
Aurora Monroe's
Hi, it's-
Stan.
Hi, it's me, Forge. So she's like, yo, somebody's making your power dampening shit. And he's like, impossible. I destroyed all of the documents and plans, except one of the scientists that I worked with had a photographic memory. And she's like, do.
She goes, fuck.
She's
Which
like,
is
fuck.
funny. I guess Storm doesn't seem like a cusser to me. Like, she's someone, even though it's comics, I still want her to be like, blast. You know what I mean?
Goddess.
Oh, goddess. You imbecile.
So then we get to listen, anytime we cut to the Quiet Council, I get a little excited. As soon as I flip the page and it's the Quiet Council, I'm like, yes, give me this soapy drama.
And Sebastian is just like feeding seeds of like discontent with Emma, being like, oh, Emma's not here.
Oh, she's so bad
not
at her
doing
job.
I guess she can't do her job. Kitty's not even. Kitty's gone.
Oh, look at that side of the table's really lacking. And Magneto, on the other hand, is like, so Sophie, Cuckoo, is like, hey guys, Emma's not coming because she's going to war with Russia. Hope you're cool with it.
And
And
that's where
Magneto's
Professor X,
thinking,
they're
he's
like,
like, hey,
we
hey,
have to talk about
I'm cool.
this. And Magneto is like, nope, just
No.
go for it.
He takes his helmet off so he can think at Sophie, like, tell her good job.
Oh, you know what? I didn't realize that's why he's taking his helmet off.
Yeah.
That's brilliant. Oh my gosh.
Oh, he didn't say that out loud.
Yeah. That's great.
Can I take a moment to talk about Stefano Caselli's like gorgeous faces on these people?
Yeah. I really
Gorgeous.
like the artwork.
Oh,
Because that's the other thing, the artwork of Forge and Tempo looking at Sebastian Shaw while he's like waxing poetic on, like, their like
well, he's whacking off.
their
yeah.
internal eye roll. That's a hard thing to
Yeah.
pull off drawing. You can see
Yeah.
in their stances, they're like, ugh, shut up. Brilliant. What else
like,
is he drawn
God,
for?
what
I
an-
love him.
I
Stefano
don't know.
Caselli?
He's drawn for this before. He's filled in for Matteo
Yeah.
Lally on Marauders before, and he draws a sexy bishop. I'll tell you that, like a real sexy bishop.
Yeah.
Like Lucas is doing it for me when Caselli's at the pen.
But he didn't
But-
draw the next part I want to talk about, which is
Right.
Kitty Pryde's letters. Or
a data page.
Or emails. Or one email, I guess. An email between Kate and Kurt. This is so sad.
It's so sad. She's pouring her heart out to him about how she feels about stuff.
She's just so sad that she isn't she doesn't feel like she's part of it because she can't pass through the gates.
Yeah.
There's one part where she's just like, do you get bummed out when you see me coming? That's just so sad.
It's so sad.
And
she's so self-deprecating about it.
Yeah. I mean, you can
fuck
clearly...
me for having these feelings.
She's shit-faced when she wrote this.
Oh, absolutely.
She's completely drunk off her ass, like feeling sorry for herself. And so Kurt, and later on, sends another one back being like, you know, when you get back, I want to help you with this. But she never got back.
She never got back. But it makes me think. So one thing in her letter to him, her email, is she's like, God damn, you should hang out with us. I mean, we're swashbucklers.
Yeah.
For fuck's sake. Right? Hello? So I'm thinking we're being set up for Nightcrawler joining this book. I think.
Well, also,
right?
I would love it if Nightcrawler, Emma, and Bishop all lead the charge, and Storm lead the charge to get, like, to figure out who took down Kitty, like going against Sebastian Shaw.
Yeah.
Like, when they find out he did this, I mean, I guess it would be like Nightcrawler, Colossus, because we haven't seen Colossus's reaction to any of this, too.
No.
Which I think is,
not.
He's been too busy with Domino, but I'm sure this is fucking him up. Especially with, can you imagine if you just think, oh, we don't have to worry about dying anymore, and then suddenly your ex dies and then doesn't come back? That's gonna fuck you up. But I want Colossus, Wolverine, Nightcrawler, Storm, Emma. They're gonna lose their shit when they find out it's Sebastian.
Emma knows it's Sebastian.
But she doesn't have the proof yet. She doesn't have the proof yet.
But she knows.
And I think this is the thing is do you think, is Emma's going to do one of two things. She's going to tell all of them and they're going to be like, let's get them. Or she's going to go by herself and make Sebastian Shaw disappear.
Yeah, I think she's going to do something. I think she's already done something. I think she's going to be like,
but I guess she can't make him disappear because
I
they would just resurrect him. How do you get rid? I guess she'd have to go to the Quiet Council because otherwise he'll just come back. Ugh. Tricky.
She got to take his money. She got to make him poor. That's what she got to do.
Yeah, I mean,
but
she's going to get him off the Quiet Council, which then means someone new can join their trio.
Fun.
And then we still need Iceman to figure out Christian.
Yeah. Oh, that's the vengeance I want to see.
But let's talk about Iceman in this comic. Him and Storm are working together. She is pulling in the cold ice and she's bringing in the moisture, and he's just manipulating it.
These two make a good team. They make a good team. These two.
Yeah, and I kind of like that they're just like, hey, you can't do anything. And they're like, nope, we're just going to fuck you up.
But we're going to anyway.
Yeah, and they make it look like it's an alien invasion.
Because the Marauders Emma Frost has a UFO somehow.
What is that from? What's that UFO from?
I have no idea.
Because that's going to come somewhere else. Because he's like, where did you get that? And she's like, it's a long story.
I can't wait. I can't wait for the story. But that's not the only big change that I want to talk about. Can we talk about Lucas Bishop's monochromatic, fine-ass uniform as the Red Bishop?
Yeah, I'm down.
I love Bishop in red. Bishop in all red.
Yeah.
Dig it.
I also... and he has like a little scarf. I will say,
so
Bishop,
cute.
I hated original Bishop's whole look.
Yeah, me too.
I did not like it.
Yeah.
So
I'm
all up for something new and fun and sleek. And can we talk about how Christian Frost steers his ship by playing the piano?
Christian Frost drives the UFO. Yeah. But he said the interface is subjective, so whoever's driving, it will adjust to like how they feel most comfortable interacting.
Just jerking off.
Thank you. I probably wasn't getting fucked by the UFO. No, I'm sure he's a top. So,
No, we
speaking of
already
tops,
established that Iceman is a bottom.
yes.
So, of course,
speaking of
Christian
tops,
is the top.
yes. Emma removes hers in our next scene. A lot of people on Twitter were up in arms about this. She doesn't need to do that. She's a powerful telepath. And I say to you, friends, do you know we're talking about Emma Frost?
Yeah, she didn't do it because she had to.
Right.
She did it
It's
because
fun.
she wanted to.
She likes taking her tits out and showing them to men.
Yeah.
We like it because it's fun because the men go crazy. I love that that's a thing about Emma Frost, that she's got the best tits in the Marvel Universe.
Yeah.
Even Jessica Jones thinks so. Mm-hmm. So Emma makes all these guards shoot themselves, and Pyro is like, how'd you do that, Emma? She's like, they're called boobs, Ed. And then Callisto's on there, and basically, so other people were outraged by this too. So Emma controls all the Russians, and she basically injects them with kindness and empathy. So anytime they see an oppressed minority, and she says, whether they be gay, disabled, trans, it doesn't matter. The thought of abusing them is going to make you violently ill.
And saying this to Russia, this isn't
Yes.
This isn't like the pretend country. This isn't Latveria or whatever, however you say that. This is
piece of
Russia,
shit
an
Russia.
actual country that fucking oppresses gay people. Like, I love it.
Yeah.
Love it.
And then the UFO blows up their freighter.
Yeah.
They take all the Russian soldiers, scoop them up in the UFO, brainwash them, bring
And
them
then
back home,
drop
blow
them
up their
down
ship.
in the UFO, and it's just brilliant because they go right to the Kremlin and then bring them down. So it does not look anything like an X-Men. Like
No,
the
it looks like
X-Men
an
did
alien
anything.
abduction.
It's brilliant.
great.
It's
Yeah.
so fucking smart. It's so good.
And then they take the forged scientist and they wipe his mind, and he goes and lives on the golf course, the retirement home with
That's
the Morlocks.
not the end. That's not good. I'm just saying that's not putting Mask with a brilliant scientist, geneticist.
Yeah, I don't know.
That's-
Masks
that is
seems
a bad-
pretty cool these days.
No, I don't trust it. I don't trust it at all.
Yeah.
But we end this with them not. Well, here's one thing that bothered me is the colorist fucked up. Do you know why? When it gets to the 5?
Oh, because Gold Balls looks white?
No. But you're close.
Oh, Elixir?
Elixir doesn't look gold.
Yeah.
His skin tone is wrong. So
Yeah.
that bothered me. Anyway.
There's a few coloring issues in this book, yeah.
Yeah.
Notoriously, there has been.
But I definitely... And isn't Proteus is an Xavier, a clone of Xavier, right? Wasn't that established in House of X?
No.
No, I thought it was because he didn't have a body that they couldn't resurrect him. So they took his brain and put it in a Xavier clone. And
that's
they
what
have
you
to
mean.
Keep, and they have to
yes,
keep
yes,
doing
yes.
it over and over again because it doesn't fully take.
Yes, totally forgot that, yeah.
But this is basically, it's saying they still don't understand why she can't be resuscitated. And the thing that I want to know is at which point is it not working?
Right. Or
Like
is she coming
which-
out like all deformed?
Yeah, is nothing is it not even being able to be made viable? Are you not when you put the when Tempest tries to age it? Does it? Not
Which one
work?
of you is fucking up? That's what I want to know.
Why-
Which one of
yeah.
the 5 is fucking up?
I put my money on Hope because I hate her.
Oh my god, I think it is absolutely Proteus because I think he's a jerk. Well, it's good that they're back, and next issue, the Krakoan language at the end spells Hesped, which is a
Funeral.
Jewish funeral.
But don't you feel that this funeral is going to end with her coming back?
That is my dream, that I could walk into my own
think it's going to be
funeral.
as they like bury her and she starts being sucked into the graveyard at Krakoa. Suddenly she's just going to be like, "Hey everybody, what are you all doing? A funeral?" And then she's like drinking some whiskey, and she's like
That's like my dream.
She's still covered in ooze from the egg juice of like just coming out.
It's my dream to crash my own funeral, covered in juice or blood, but juice. Who wouldn't love that?
Yeah.
To like pick your moment, just to be like make a quip. Just
Well, that's
be
what
like,
people
no,
say.
he's
like,
not.
If you went to your own funeral, like what would people say about you? Kind of like today, how my mom butt dialed me after I talked to her, and I heard her talking about me, how I looked.
What'd she say?
She was like, "Oh, with stomach problems, they thought he was going to be a skeleton, but he looks good. He put on some weight."
She called you fat?
No, she called
she
me
didn't.
normal because the last time she saw me, I'd lost a lot of weight, and so she thought I was
Yeah.
dying.
She said, too bad he's an asshole, though.
Yeah. Well, I hung up before she got to that part. My mom.
Wise to hang
The
up.
thing, I was an asshole. Like, by the time I was in, like, high school, I was an asshole, and my mom would call me. There was more than one occasion where my mom was like, "You're a little shit." And it was completely deserved because I was being a little shit.
Yeah.
Did your mom ever cuss
You're a
at
little-
you?
Oh, God, are you kidding me? I'm from the Jersey Shore. I'm Italian.
What would you
what
say?
do you
Like,
think?
what was her catchfuss if you did something bad? Like, should she be like, "Yeah, you motherfucker"? Like, how bad would it get? Like, "You son of a bitch."
Oh. What the fuck? What the fuck? It's just, I mean, it was just F, 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 F. Now I gotta deal with this shit? Always that. She would never call me she would never call me anything.
Oh, okay.
I never did anything to merit being called a name.
Oh,
But when she got angry, oh boy, I learned the word cunt from her. She yelled it out the car window when we were driving once.
See, my mom just gave the finger. She didn't yell actual things.
My mother like climbed out of I'll never forget it. She like climbed out of the window. Like we're going 55 miles per hour. She's like waist out of the driver's side window going, "You fucking cunt!" And then one time I was driving in a parking lot with my sister and like almost got into an accident because both, like, it was just being, the other car and her were fighting over this spot and being aggressive. And my sister I'm like, oh my God. I was like, Jesus, everyone needs to calm down. My sister immediately opens the car door and gets out of the car and just starts screaming like wow, the women in my family.
You didn't inherit that angry driver gene?
No, I'm the calm one.
Did you have a car in Chicago?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Oh, I couldn't drive it though because of that whole thing. Nobody wants to hear about that.
So there's other comics that are going on though.
Yeah, some.
Yeah, but you got to get a comic. Hit it.
You gotta get a comic if you wanna get ahead. That's right. That's good advice.
What else? Did you read,
So
Brett?
we're reading books that we typically wouldn't have read if this were normal weeks because there's just slim pickings out there and we've got a show to do.
Yeah.
So Evil Jeff, I've read Amazing Spider-Man number 43.
Yeah, I did too.
Oh, you did? Okay,
Yeah,
good.
Let's talk about it.
Let's talk about it, and then we'll talk about another book
I'm
that I think we
pissed.
both read.
I stopped reading, and this is the weird thing. Very rarely do I read something only for the artist. Usually, if it switches artists, if I like the writer, I'll still keep on going. But I love Ryan Otley, and when he stopped doing the pencils, it was like 5 issues. He wasn't doing it. I'm like, I don't care anymore. So I stopped reading it, and so I read this, and I'm like, wait, he's doing the art.
He's back.
I'm like, but how long has he been back? Has he been back for like? I'm like imagining when I decided to stop reading, he like came back immediately. Like, shit.
He's like, good, that bitch is gone, thank God.
So it was already easy to read because I just love his art. I love how he draws faces. I love how
Yeah,
he draws
it's great.
Spider-Man. That being said, snooze.
Yeah,
I didn't care.
Spider-Man has a pet. He has a pet little monster now. Peter
And it
Parker.
looks like it's evolved where now Boomerang, I guess, knows he's Peter Parker.
I guess. I was wondering
and is now
that,
a good
yeah.
guy. Because before it was like, oh, I'm rooting
Yes.
with an evil villain and he can't get to know me the last time I
Yeah.
read it.
I was reading some history on Boomerang, and
Anything sexy?
he's like, I wish. Well, there was that issue a few issues ago where Peter comes home and Boomerang is walking around in Peter's underwear.
He's
But Boomerang's
he's
committed,
he's like, I just jizzed in those. Those are my. And he's like, yeah.
He's like, I know. He's like, I can feel the web fluid in there.
Gross.
But Boomerang's like committed like heinous murder.
Yeah, right? Why is he being redeemed? And how is he
I don't know.
redeemable?
Like that hero Jackpot, who I hear they're making, I don't know. That hero Jackpot that everyone thought was supposed to be MJ in like a Vegas-y kind of superhero costume. Do you know Jackpot?
I don't.
So there was a Jackpot miniseries, and Boomerang killed her husband in front of her. And in front of their kid. Probably. I'm like, that's gross.
Also, he seems
I don't
really
know.
young.
Yeah.
Is he the same age as Peter? Because I feel like if he was around a while ago, he was probably older. I don't know.
Yeah.
Whatever.
I don't fuck with age in comics.
Yeah. But
But
it
it's
looks
cute.
like
So Peter has a pet.
yeah, but it looks like Kingpin is still the mayor.
Still the mayor.
And then it's the other thing is like, do we just not address the pandemic then? Because I'm like, if Kingpin was the mayor while the pandemic hit New York, you're off. Like that would be bad.
Yeah, well, it's kind of like Trump being president. Like, as long as Trump is president, Kingpin should be mayor. It's the same thing.
Yeah.
Literally the same thing. We also read Avengers number 33. And I have to tell you, Evil Jeff, I still don't care for this book.
Yeah, I don't either. Also, I'm not a big Moon Knight fan.
So this is a Moon Knight solo adventure. It's Moon Knight on like the moon is never this big and powerful. It's
So he's
like
all
one in a
voided
million
out.
years.
But here's the thing: is all of his split personalities separate beings? Is that what was happening?
Oh, well, they have like, don't they take on separate costumes? Like one of them does the suit. One of them does the more traditional.
But are they actual? I thought they were all the same person. Like he's just has split personality disorder. But this looked like they were all at the different places at the same time. And then in the end,
I thought it was one after the other.
No, I thought it was one after the other.
But in the very last thing, there were two of them right next to each other.
No,
last
that's the
panel.
god. No, that's the
so
god
that's
he
the god,
prays
and then
to.
Moon Knight
That's
was-
Khonshu.
Oh, okay. All right. I found that very confusing. I also just like, oh, I'm going to do a comic where Moon Knight becomes the most powerful and I'm just like, well, what happens when the moon goes away?
Nah, you got to get it done tonight.
That's what I always hated about him, where it's like, he gets really strong and there's a full moon. I'm like, yeah, great. Well, once a month, I'll fucking call you if something happens to be happening that day. Like, what a
Right.
dumb power. I hope the
So
TV
he
show is
steals-
good.
Oh, I'm sure it'll be cool. People want Daniel Radcliffe in the role.
Why?
I don't know.
Like, I'm not saying he couldn't do it, but like, what does he have to like? What does he offer up that's Moon Knight like?
Right. Yeah. Why?
Plus,
Why?
if it's Moon Knight, give it to like a black woman or something. You know, like
Yes.
like why is it gotta be white? Why it's not?
Why is it
Moon
got to be a white guy?
Yeah.
So he steals whose powers? He beats Iron Fist, Doctor Strange, Ghost. He takes Ghost Rider's car, Black
Now,
Panther,
is that a thing where only he can drive the car?
Thor.
Can anyone just
I mean,
get
I
on-
would
or
assume.
even the motorcycle. Can anyone get on the motorcycle? Because he was like, how could someone take this? And I was like, oh, is it something like only you can start the car?
Like Thor's hammer.
Yeah. Thor, he beat Thor Thor got his ass kicked
He's
real
like,
quick.
Your hammers are made out of moon rock. Hiya!
But then it was like,
oh,
I'm
God.
going to put you with all these moons. And I was like, that doesn't seem the gravity problem ramifications right now. If that's happening
Oh,
here,
God.
Earth, that would
He just
fuck
destroyed the
everything up.
entire cosmos putting all those moons
so
together.
just for a pretty picture, you just erase the laws of physics.
So I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not digging it.
Jason Aaron's Avengers. Every issue I read, I'm like,
I
I
know,
don't
I've tried.
care for
I've
it.
tried 4 different times. And each time I'm like, nope, there's still nothing interesting happening. And that's the
don't
thing where
care.
it's just like, it's like caveman She-Hulk fucking Thor. I'm not into that.
You'll fuck me now.
You'll have sex with me now. Yeah, I'm not into it. I'm not into it. Anyway,
All right.
that's all I read. I'm done.
That's all I read too. Sorry.
Sorry about it. But you know what? We decided to, wait, should we do what should we do first?
You just go with it.
You know what though? But we have, I can't remember the song anymore. Oh wait, but, alright, I'm gonna cut this part out. Okay. But you know what, Brett? We haven't read any more comics, but did you see anything more?
Suddenly Seymour. So yes.
Tell me what you see, Brett.
Well, there's first of all, okay, I'm gonna go rogue on you for a second, Sugar. Because the thing I saw is on DCUniverse.com.
Okay.
Which I still subscribe to. However, that reminded me HBO Max premiered, and that's got a lot of DC content on it. And since I subscribe to HBO Now, because I wanted to watch Watchmen, I am now a member of HBO Max.
Harley Quinn's not on it though.
No, I know, but Doom Patrol Season 2 is going to be.
Yeah, it's so weird. Like, why are you picking and choosing? Just
Well-
shut down DC and put it all on HBO Max.
Exactly, it's so stupid. I mean, I'm hoping they do after...
They have to. Like,
They
what's
have
the
to,
point?
right? What's the point? So, I want to tell you about this show on HBO Max really quick.
Okay.
It's called Legendary.
Okay.
Do you know what it is?
No. Is it a DC
It's a
thing?
it's a gay thing. It's a motherfucking, it's a queers thing.
Yeah. The voguing one, like the house
Yes.
battles. Oh, I haven't watched it yet. I want to watch it.
I'm obsessed with it.
I really
It's
wanna
so good. Watch it.
What are some of the house names? Do they have any classics like House of La Beja? House of Extravaganza?
They have the House of Escada. Like, there's no, like, Aviance or anything. There's the House of Levain. The House of Levain.
Ooh.
House of West. What else? House of... it's not St. Vincent. It's something like that, though.
Now, is it a team thing or do they have individual categories? And they'll send the best person from the team down.
They'll do both, yeah. Just like traditional balls.
Oh,
yeah.
okay, cool.
Yeah, like
Yeah,
they'll
I
have
have
one
to
person serve up the
Who
face
hosts
competition.
Who's the
Jamela Jamil. Jamela Jamil is like the what's her name? Tahani from Good Place.
But she's not the one being like fierce.
No, she's not the Pray Tell.
Oh, okay.
I forget his name, but he's like a famous ballroom MC.
Oh, okay, cool.
So he's like the real deal.
Yeah. We're not gonna be shady, just fierce. Oh,
Oh God, it's so fantastic.
that sounds great.
I don't know when new episodes drop. They drop new episodes a week, like Harley Quinn. I don't know. I'm like hoping I
so it's
go
not the whole
and check
season.
tonight. No, there's only 2 episodes
That's right,
up.
because HBO is we're gonna make you wait.
Yep.
I respect that.
They edge us. It's HBO Edge. So that show, but back to Harley Quinn. We've got big developments happening in Harley Quinn. Let's talk about it.
Yes, we were talking last week about how Harley Quinn is entering the LGBT world because Harley Quinn and Poison Ivy shared a kiss. Well, ho ho ho, they shared a whole lot more. And hey, if you're gonna dyke out, there's no place to do it. Then where, Brett?
Where are they? Vegas?
What? No, Wonder Woman.
Oh, the mascara. The mascara. I forgot.
That's like a main
No better
plot
chance.
point, Brett.
Oh my God!
How
What a
high
great
were you
segue
when
that.
this
What a great setup that was. Yes, there's no better place to dyke out than the mascara. Thank you.
A place where men are not allowed. This show is
or
so
valued.
brilliantly written.
How funny is it that they take an invisible jet there and the entire trip birds keep splattering into it because they can't see it?
And then they get an invisible van and a bird splatters into that too.
Oh, it's
And
so
then
good.
what's Wonder Woman's mom's name?
Hippolyta.
Hippolyta. I love how she's brainwashed where they're just like, wow, this thing has just been like, you've just totally made it a corporate island. Are you okay with that? Yes, I'm totally fine with it.
And it was totally Rachel Dratch, wasn't
Yes,
it?
Rachel Dratch. And the bad girl, who,
Eris or something?
yeah, she had my favorite line of where the fight breaks out. And she just goes, oh, just hit me in the tits. And then the grade school friend Jen just picks her up and murders her and throws her off a balcony and kills her.
For not having bottomless mimosas.
I know, that was so great
At the
too. Like, I'm
Themyscira
not
brunch
into
spot.
murder. It's like, they don't have bottomless mimosas. Let's kill them all.
Yeah, so it's Poison Ivy's bachelorette party, and it's her childhood friend Jennifer, who doesn't like to be called Jen. She's like a
Catwoman.
normal Catwoman, who I love.
Mrs. Freeze.
Mrs. Freeze, who Mr. Freeze was killed.
Which
And
she's not
so-
holding a grudge for some reason.
Right. And yeah, and Harley and Ivy.
And then
And Harley and Ivy get drunk.
They keep getting drunk and having mind-blowing orgasms.
Mind-blowing sex.
And it's funny because at this point, I think Harley, because like if you look at her past with Joker, she's like, she's like, and now I'm in love, like immediately.
Obsessive, yeah.
She's obsessed, and she's
all
trying
in.
her darndest to not be obsessed, but once they had sex, it's over. So Harley's full on in love, but Poison Ivy pusses out.
Yeah, because, well, she's engaged to Kite Man. And she does genuinely love him, kind
But
of.
what she said that was smart is Poison Ivy's like, she's like, after all the shit you did with Joker, I trust you with my life, but I would never trust you with my heart. And I was like, ooh,
Yeah.
that hurts.
Smart. It's
That
smart.
hurts. I know, so it was like sad and poignant and funny and hilarious and action-packed and bloody and murdery. Like, this show is like gruesome murder.
Yeah. This show is so well
And
written
dark,
and
hard
dark
R
funny.
humor. I love it. so
Hard
much.
R humor. Yeah, but it's like it starts off hilarious and then the action really kicks up. And then at the end, it's like almost like bring you to tears, poignant and grounded.
And there's an under the
fantastic.
sea Disney parody about shitting.
About the best part about living under the sea is you get to poop wherever you want.
I know.
And your butt's always clean.
Have you converted anyone to this show yet?
No, just you.
I told my coworker, I was like, who I edit with for World of Wonder, and I was like, you need to watch the show. It's amazing. He's like, yeah. And then finally this week, he's like, holy shit! I just
amazing.
downloaded DC like the free month, and this show is amazing. I'm like, I told you.
Yeah. It might be my favorite animated comic book show of all time.
For me, it's a close because I count Venture Brothers as like a comic book because it does so many.
Yeah,
movies. Venture
very
Brothers
similar.
is number one, but this has gone up to number 2 for me, and of only 2 seasons. That's very impressive,
Very impressive.
and it makes me like Haley Cuoco.
Yeah. Oh, and I love Lake Bell. I never talked about this. My friend from Chicago, Lisa, is a cast member on Bless This Mess
Oh yeah,
with Lake Bell. And so
you were like,
Jeff
give
and I
me
had
the
the
scoop
TV
on Lake Bell.
I want to.
that
I want
Dax
to approach her and be
Shepard?
like, could you... Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I want to approach her and be like, could you tell Lake Bell that her Poison Ivy is my favorite thing ever? But Lake Bell's so funny, like in the in-person show. So I watched it to see my friend Lisa. But then I got into the show. It's really funny. And Lake Bell is funny as fuck.
You've seen Children's Hospital, right?
Yeah, I have.
Oh,
And Wet Hot. She was in Wet Hot, the series.
right. Yeah, it's brilliant.
Well, it's nice that we enjoyed something together.
But we have different tastes sometimes.
We do. There are shows that I watch that you've never seen, and there are shows you watch that I've never seen.
No one's ever seen.
That no one's ever seen.
Yeah, so here's a new segment.
Anything you can view, I can view better.
I can view anything better than you.
It's unnecessarily competitive.
Yeah. Fuck you, Brett. You're going to watch what I tell you to watch.
All right, so what happens is I agreed to watch one of Evil Jeff's shows, and Evil Jeff agreed to watch one of my shows. Evil Jeff.
I'll start with what I watched.
Okay, great.
So, here's the deal. Brett always is giving us the updates on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., and it's on season 7.
Just started season 7.
And the whole time I'm like, because I've never watched it. And the problem is, by the time Brett was like, watch this, it was like season 4. So then it was like, and there's like 20 episodes a season. It was like, here, catch up on 60 episodes or something.
No, it's too, yeah. I have a friend doing it now, though.
It was too daunting. And my problem now is I kind of fucked it over because I decided to watch season 7, episode 1 of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Now, the show assumes you have been watching every season and you know who everyone is. So I will admit I had to open up like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. wiki and have it on the side just so I can be like, who the fuck is that? And just pause and be like, okay, that's Quake. Because they're not even saying anyone's name. They're not like, Quake, what are you doing? You know what I mean? They're just assuming you know who the fuck is who.
It's very much...
So then it was like
only the diehard fans are left. And
then
it's very much
what's
for
the
them.
guy who's in Ms. Marvel and all of them?
Coulson.
Coulson. So Coulson is now like a Cylon, I guess. What are they called? LMD?
He's an LMD, yeah.
An LMD. And so I'm just like, of course I'm like, well, how did he die? When did he die? Like, you know what I mean? I'm just like trying to like
curious.
Pick up the pieces so I at least understand something. And then there's a really hot guy named, was it Deke?
Oh, Deke is so hot.
No, but is he from the future?
Yes.
Okay, so I was
he's from the far future.
All right. So how did he get with all of them?
So at the end of season 4, the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. had just beat the life model decoys, and they were brought into a reality called the Framework, where they were the agents of Hydra. So they had just beat all that stuff, beat that bad guy. One of them was kind of a MODOK villain, by the way, like an MCU take on MODOK.
Is this where they had to go into the future to get Fitz?
They get kidnapped.
Oh, okay.
At the end of season 4, all of us, they're at a diner, and all of a sudden they all like go catatonic, and they get scooped up by all these people, and they all wake up like 90 years in the future, and that's where they meet Deke. They're on a space station. Earth has been destroyed. They're on it by the Kree, or not by the Kree. The Earth has been destroyed, and then the Kree run this space station that they're on, and they rebel and meet a fellow rebel, Deke. And then he kind of hitches a ride when they go back to the present. He winds up escaping with them and becomes one of the team members.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. But he's Simmons' grandson. You find out that he's Fitz, who's a big character who was not in that episode, and Simmons, the two scientists who fell in love.
Did they both know that?
She does know that. And it was in season 5 where they revealed it. And when Deke told Simmons, that is one of the most emotional scenes in the show, is when she realizes that he's their grandson.
Was she alive when he was alive? Like, did he know her as a grandson?
No, he knew them from stories that his parents there. Aww. Yeah. Yeah, he heard her say a thing that his mom used to say, and he put 2 and 2 together.
Isn't it dangerous to say that, though? Isn't that like I guess this isn't Back to the Future timeline.
No, and so you saw him. Wouldn't it be funny if he told her that
and then he just disappeared?
Yeah, he does explain kind of the agent's theory of time travel in this episode because
he
they
does,
go back
yes,
to the
with
30s.
the stick in the stream.
Yeah.
So basically, they start in the 1930s. Did we know they were in the 1930s at the end of season 6?
Yes, they escape and wind up in the 30s. Yep.
And it looks like these, what are they called? Krylons? No, that's a makeup.
The Chromicons.
The Chromicons are plotting back in the 30s to kind of make sure that the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. are never formed.
Yeah, the team followed the Chromicons, and they wound up following them to the 30s, and they're like, why are the Chromicons going to the 30s? And it's because they want to basically destroy S.H.I.E.L.D. at the root before it even forms.
So they all kind of, they start on the hunt. The Chromicon has taken over some cop bodies. And so they're kind of
some
the police.
Crooked cops.
Crooked
Very
cops.
timely.
And this is in the age of Prohibition. So there's like speakeasies. There's a speakeasy
They're
run
bootlegging.
by Patton Oswalt.
So that's another callback. Patton Oswalt plays like quadruplets who are all agents. And at first they made you to think he was like the first life model decoy. He's not. They're actually quadruplet brothers. So if they're doing like the history of S.H.I.E.L.D. this season and it's the last season, they're gonna do like all the greatest hits, like somehow call back characters. So Patton Oswalt, meeting him in the 30s was very much like a, hey, remember Patton Oswalt's character from late season 1, early season 2? Hey.
That's fun. See, I just thought like, this
fun.
is his first time ever showing up. So you get all the Easter eggs and callbacks. I don't get nothing.
Yeah. They were like, Koenig. He's like, how do you know my name's Koenig? That's how. Because it's every Patton Oswalt is a Koenig.
So then they kind of figure out that it's going to be, let's assassinate FDR before he becomes president, because then he'll never form the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
So he forms the SSR, which is what Agent Carter works for. Yeah, before it becomes S.H.I.E.L.D.
So they all kind of get dress up and then go to, of course, they have to get in dresses and suits and
They got to get in their duds.
go undercover at like it's some kind of fundraiser. But then it turns out that it was wrong. It wasn't FDR that they were trying to stop. They're actually, spoiler, trying to stop Hydra. Which, ironically, if they stop Hydra, there's no reason to have S.H.I.E.L.D.
Exactly.
So they have to do the thing like let Hitler live.
Yes.
So that the world continues.
So the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. now have to protect the formation of Hydra.
Oh, brother.
Oh, boy. Yeah. So it's going to be fun. They're going to endgame it. They're going to like dance through the whole history of S.H.I.E.L.D. and Hydra. It'll be fun.
It's fun. I don't know if I'll keep watching it because there's so much I'm not seeing.
Yeah, it's so hard. Yeah, how could you be? You don't feel connected to it.
But it was fun. Oh wait, where was the Coulson's girlfriend came to life? Or what was going on with that?
Oh, Agent May.
What happened to her?
She was killed. She fought like a god in a sword fight. And killed the god, but died in the process herself.
So is she an LMD?
No, that's funny. She used to be. They, all of a sudden, like a Simmons, like the British scientist lady, when May was laying dead in this like temple, Simmons showed up and picked up May and brought her on a ship. And then they all of a sudden hightailed it to the 30s. But they've got technology that can sort of stitch up somebody who's, mortally wounded. They've got like advanced tech, so.
But why did it look like she woke up all evil?
Agent May has a history of like waking up in situations where she has no idea what the fuck is going on, and her instinct is to like find out what is going on and protect herself. It's kind of a classic May thing. Like Agent May waking up and like borderline being crazy, like ready to fight her way out of whatever situation she's in. Like it's just a very Agent May thing to do.
Fun.
So yeah, I mean, but you can tell like the spirit of the show is fun. The characters are fun. It's great action.
It's a great. It definitely has that Marvel mentality of there's comedy,
that
there's
humor,
action, there's pathos, there's relationships. Yeah, I will say the leader of S.H.I.E.L.D. he seemed really boring.
Mac's great, but yeah, I mean he's the straight shooter. I mean that's his character. But total badass and the heart of the heart of the team, the one with the conscience.
See, boring. No, I'm just kidding.
yeah. He's like the one who'll always do what's right. We hate him. But that Deke, who Deke is best? The actor who plays Deke is best friends with Evan Peters.
Ooh.
And they're always social media and stuff together, and it's real sexy. But I don't mean to ship to straight men like that.
Well, that's the thing that some girls like to do is pick two guys and then pretend that they're having sex with each other. Would you know anything
Isn't
about that, Brett? Did I force
Yes,
you to
I
watch
would.
anything like that?
Yes, I would, because any listeners of the show, both of you, know that Evil Jeff often talks about his gay Thai soap operas that he's obsessed with. Well, I watched one.
And I picked this one specifically because it had supernatural powers involved.
Well, I
it's
hope you
still-
picked this one specifically because it was so much fun, and I'm obsessed with it.
Insane. Are you going to keep watching it?
I think so.
Yeah, watch the next episode's already out. It's every Friday. So watch episode 2 because it gets even crazier. It's called,
Yep.
okay, and you can watch it on YouTube, on GMM TV. It's called The Shipper. And it's literally about two Fujoshis. Do you know what the term Fujoshi is, Brett?
No.
A Fujoshi is a girl that's obsessed with BL, yaoi, boy love stories. So it's a straight girl that loves stories about gay guys having sex with each other. And Fujoshi, translated from Japanese, is dirty girl.
Oh,
Like
but
the
it
little
feels like
translation
it's
is you're a
less
dirty
about the
girl.
sex. It feels like it's less about the sex and it's more about the romance.
Yes. Now, but it's called Dirty Girls because the original yaoi BL was more about the sex, and it's kind of evolved over time. Like late 70s, early 80s yaoi was all just like rape fantasies with two guys, where it's like, oh, it's okay, it's not real rape because it's two men. Like it was very problematic. And then it kind of evolved into more romantic stuff. And so this story is about these two high school girls, like the two most popular boys in school. There's like the bad boy jock, and then there's the hot smart guy, and they're best friends, and they're called the vampire and the werewolf. And these two girls basically have a popular like fan fiction site that people read where they write them having sex with each other, stories of them having sex with each other.
Which gets them called homosexuals and gets them into a fight, which gets one of them expelled.
But then that was the crazy thing, the fight that gets them expelled. Before we see the real fight, we see the version of what they're writing, of what they want the fight to be. And it's so over the top insane. Where they
show the yaoi fiction version of the fight the girls are
where
watching. They show the imagined.
He has like a Captain America shield, a lightsaber. The other one has electric storm powers, and then they're
Emperor
ripping each
powers.
other's clothes off, calling each other's names.
They beat the girl. One of them has a girlfriend. She is a popular girl, mean girl. She's tied up in this fantasy. The bad boys have her, and then one of the couple boys shows up to save her because the other boy cares about her so much. But then the other boy shows up. He's like, I don't care about her. I care about you.
Yeah, and so then she's like, well, kill them both.
She's like, well, then kill them. And then they beat the bad guys. And then while she's in front of her, they keep ripping each other's shirts off and saying each other's names very romantically and melodramatically in each other's faces. But they never kiss.
Well, they do kiss. They don't show the actual lips. It's like from the angle, the behind angle. But then it cuts to what she's really watching, and it's just them beating the shit out of people with blood flying everywhere.
She gets blood splattered on her face, and she's like, whose blood is this? She's like, there's a fight in front of you.
Oh, and there's a BL trope where the Fujoshis are so obsessed that when they get so obsessed with BL, they get nosebleeds. And so that's like an ongoing theme. That's an ongoing theme in a lot of BLs, is when someone's super turned on, they get a nosebleed.
Oh.
So all the time these girls get nosebleeds, it's because their like pussies are wet. I think that's like what the metaphor is.
Oh my God, I love it. I love the Fujoshi number 2, Soda. I love her.
Soda and Pam.
And then the boys are P Wei and P Kim. And I looked it up. It seems to put P in front of someone's name is like, it's like calling them brother. It's expressing that you're familiar
in
with
Korean
them.
and Thai and Chinese, they have like things of if you're addressing someone older than you, then you say a different thing. So if someone's older than you, you say P Kim. But if it was someone's older than P Kim, they call them Na Kim. Like that's what you say if that's what his older brother would like say to him. So it seems very, very confusing.
Wow.
Plus the other thing that you'll find out in the second episode is when you're speaking politely to someone, if you're a woman, please and thank you is said differently if you're a woman than if you're a man.
Wow.
Like a woman says like thanks is like ka, and a man says crab. Isn't that it's very strange? So the idea that depending on how you talk depends if you're a man or a woman, which makes the idea of gender identity and gender non-binary very tricky in places like Thailand, because you have to choose a way to talk. Because it's literally like I talk like this if I'm a girl, or I'm like this if I'm a boy. So it's very it's very like tricky like that. Anyway, it turns out they find out that the reason that they're got expelled is because they were fighting over all of these. Everyone's making fun of them for being the star of this like gay porno.
Yeah.
This gay erotica fiction. So the two girls feel really guilty that they're being expelled.
And then one of them is so overcome with guilt, she confesses to one of the boys, the one who was not expelled.
Yes. And then the guy's kind of like, hey, you deserve love. Here, I'll give you a ride home. And it seems like something starts kind of maybe happening between them. But he's like, why are you writing that? And she's just like, you two are perfect for each other. You two deserve love. And he's like, well, what about you? And she's like, I don't deserve love. And you're like, these girls are fucked up.
Yeah. And he's like, well, maybe somebody should give you love. And he like touches her hand.
And then motorcycle accident.
And then they get into a motorcycle accident and go up to some sort of purgatory where there's an angel of death.
Yes. Now, everything is Buddhism in Thailand. So everything's more in the idea of like reincarnation and Buddhist principles, which I think is kind of fun. But it's this trans woman shows up as the angel of death. But and she's like a total cunt. And she just likes the guy and thinks the guy's really hot and wants to fuck the guy and then hates the girls.
Yep.
And but it turns out that they weren't really supposed to die, so she throws them back into their bodies.
Hastily.
Pam wakes up and then turns out she's in P. Kim's body. She's in the guy's body.
So then, I assume P. Kim is in Pam's body, but we don't see them.
Yes.
And so the rest of this series is going to be the girl inside the body of the boy.
I'm in the body of the boy, so now I can make them fall in love with each other. Mm-hmm. So she's now going to try and fuck the dude as the boy.
Yeah. And the two boys are real sexy.
Yeah, they're super sexy. Yeah.
It's great. I'm a fan.
It's fun. It's fun.
And now I will watch this one since I'm in on the ground floor.
Yeah. And that's the thing is they're very light and fluffy, and I have now pretty much watched every single gay Thai show that has ever existed. They're
wonderful.
Because you just breeze right through them. They're just so fun. And now because they're so popular, Taiwan has a bunch. But now they're trying to just do one. A Korean one just launched, came out. And now the Philippines are starting to do them. But the Philippines just doesn't have the budget. And there's a new Philippine one with altar boys. And I tried watching it with my Filipino boyfriend. And my Filipino boyfriend was like, turn this garbage off. Oh, acting is so bad. I was like, oh, you don't mind the bad acting of the Thai ones because you can't understand what they're saying. He's like, yeah, I can just hear their awful acting. Turn it off. So the
funny.
other countries haven't gotten up to Thailand gay. Because I did talk briefly on here about another body swap one called Great Men Academy, which is another Thai one where the girl gets granted a wish from a magic unicorn for her to attend. She's like, if only I could attend that boys' school so that boy would fall in love with me. And then the unicorn turns her into a boy.
It's so good.
It's fun. It's fun. And I'm telling you, in these times, we need some levity.
Yeah, and it's fun not like trapped in my home as I am. It's fun not to be watching the same things over and over. It's fun
'Cause
to
that's
see
it.
something with like a whole different energy.
You probably forced your boyfriend to watch a bunch of comic book superhero stuff. So this might have been.
So yeah, it was a welcome. Yeah, my husband does not care too much for the comic book stuff, but God love him, he sits through it.
He's a saint.
He is a saint.
It's because
I'm a lucky man.
it's people named Jeff are like superior human
Yeah,
beings.
exactly. I agree with that. That's a true story.
So Brett, thank you for being here.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, and thank comic books for returning to our lives.
Thank comic books. And it's kind of a fucked up. I don't know. The world's kind of fucked up right now.
Oh, it's real bad.
And I will just say this: it's nice to have like a distraction, but at the same time, I hope everyone is staying safe, and I hope everyone is doing something to basically make sure Trump is never president ever again.
Yeah, do something. A few things like look up. There's a great website. I went to blacklivesmatter.card with 2 D's .co. Let me make sure that Black Lives Matters with a plural .CARRD. So not 2 D's, 2 R's .co. Again, that's Black Lives Matters .CARRD card.co. It is a really robust list of resources, things you can do, places you can donate to, information, misinformation. So everyone should please check that out and just do something that is helpful, whether it's helping the victims, helping the protesters, helping places like NAACP Legal Defense Fund. I think it's time we need to do something. And then also look into kind of what those Senate races are that would tip the Senate in favor of the Democrats and donate.
Because remember, while you're sitting there reading comics, there are actual people out there risking their lives in a pandemic doing the work and fighting for justice. So let's all try and fucking make this world not a shithole, I guess.
Yeah, or how about not a fascist authoritarian state?
Yes, thank you.
Run by white supremacy. How about that?
Yes.
Let's do that. Yeah. We've got a big fight on our hands. Honestly, let me tell you something. The Friends of Humanity, the Purifiers, they are empowered. They are out. They are making their move. And it's time for us mutants to stamp it the fuck down.
Fuck yeah. Because guess what? All of us are queer right now, and we all have to fight it together. Because remember, if you read comics, well, then that makes you queer.
Bye.
Bye.
Smile.